a ricin-laced letter, or maybe a drop of it, or a hundredth of a drop of it, who knows, but a poison pen letter, apparently, has been identified as being sent to President Obama and to Senator Richard Wicker, Roger Wicker. He's apparently one of the newbies, or he's very, very quiet, because I've never interviewed the guy. I think he's a Republican. And that makes me scratch my head, because this is something that I'm still scratching my head about after 9/11. And I'm wondering what the legislation is that's waiting in the wings, because after 9/11, all of a sudden, I mean, literally, a few weeks after 9/11, we had this like 3, 4, 5, 6,000 page, Patriot Act bill, this giant piece of legislation that basically stripped us of our civil liberties and threw us into a state of perpetual war and turned George Bush into a dictator. And it was like, ta-da! Where'd that come from? Well, we've been working on it for a few decades. Ever since we brought the Nazis over and, to turn the OSS into the CIA back in the 50s. I don't know, but, it's all of a sudden we had the Patriot Act. And the Patriot Act, there were a lot of Americans on the left and the right who were looking at the Patriot Act going, I don't think so. I don't think we're going to set aside our Constitution. I don't think we're going to give these kind of powers to the president. Just because some crazy people took out a building and killed a bunch of people doesn't mean that our entire nation goes nuts. And it doesn't mean we give up our values. I think Barbara Lee, I might be conflating the war resolution and the Patriot Act, spoke out against. In any case, there were two senators through whom the Patriot Act had to go after 9/11 to get to the floor of the Senate for a vote. Had to get out of the Judiciary Committee, and the Democrats controlled the Senate at that time, and the chairman of the Judiciary Committee was the senior senator from Vermont, Patrick Leahy, who, by the way, is one hard-ass guy. He's a former federal prosecutor. I've met Pat Leahy. I don't know him, well. I don't know him personally. I don't know him, the way I know Bernie, but I've met him. I've been in people's homes with him and had dinner with him and that kind of thing. And this guy he's solid. He's decent. He's quite progressive for a former federal prosecutor, and he's all about law and order, and he understands the Constitution. Pat Leahy. So he was the chairman of the Democratic chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Patriot Act had to get past him, and he was making noises like, I don't know about this. There's a lot of stuff in here that gives me a whole lot of pause. We need to think this through carefully. And then if it got through Leahy's committee, then it had to go to Tom Daschle, who was the Senate Majority Leader. He had the job Harry Reid has right now. Tom Daschle, the senator from, what was it, North Dakota, as I recall? South Dakota. Mix up my Dakotas. My apologies. And Tom Daschle had to bring it to the floor of the Senate for a vote. And he schedules the votes because, that's like how Harry Reid does it, how Harry Reid just scheduled this Stock Act. So now congressmen can go back to doing trades on insider information. Oh, let's not go there. We'll get to that later on in the show. So anyhow, the thing about the president and this Republican senator apparently getting ricin letters in the mail. Now, keep in mind, ricin is one of those things because it is made from castor beans, castor oil beans, the beans that produce castor oil, which is filled with common organic compounds, plant material. It's one of the things that is relatively easy to test for, but you get a lot of false positives. So we don't know for sure whether this is, but in any case, whether it is or it isn't, here's the thing. 9/11 happens, national tragedy. The right-wingers suddenly cart out the Patriot Act and say, da-da-da, here we go, let's turn America into a police state. And the Democrats say, no, wait a minute, hold on. Pat Leahy and Tom Daschle, The two guys that it has to go through to get onto the floor of the Senate, they say, nah, don't think so. I want to give this some thought. And who are the only two elected officials in the United States of America who get weaponized anthrax in the mail? Think about this for a minute. And we still don't know who sent this. We do know that it came from a U.S. military facility. The only two people in the country, I realize I'm sounding like Alex Jones here, but hey, look it up. The only two people in the country, I mean, there were some journalists and whatnot, but the only two elected officials who got weaponized anthrax in the mail were Pat Leahy and Tom Daschle. They had to evacuate their offices. They had to leave behind all their paperwork. They had to leave behind all that stuff on the Patriot Act. And all of a sudden, everybody was saluting the Patriot Act. Oh my God, they're coming for us. So when I see a national disaster, and as I've mentioned, we're still waiting to hear if somebody's actually been arrested, if there's one or two suspects. We're getting conflicting reports now. It's kind of like the networks are dueling with each other over who can get the first story out, principally CNN and Fox and MSNBC. But apparently, the federal courthouse, well, this is interesting. The federal courthouse and the hospital were just evacuated, and two suspects singled out. But in any case, when I see a national disaster followed by poison pen letters, I get a really, really creepy deja vu. And I genuinely do not believe that that qualifies me for wearing a tinfoil hat. We'll see how this all plays out.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 866-987-THOM.
And one of the things I'm going to be looking for is there a piece of legislation coming down the road here soon?